Today we are going to talk about the tissue adaptation, formerly referred to as herpes. And so what is herpes? People think that herpes is a STD, sexually transmitted disease, that hops from genital to genital following contact. However, some people have sexual contact with a person who, quote, has herpes, but they never develop it. Why would that be the case? The reason is herpes, or the tissue adaptation formerly known as herpes, is not the result of a baddie virus, a little germ or bug that just kind of hangs out on your genitals and then just hops over to other people and randomly strikes with an outbreak attack of sores on your genitals. What it actually is an intentional biological special program that activates in response to a deeply felt experience, a biological conflict shock. And the biological conflict shock related to the tissue adaptation, formerly known as herpes, is a separation conflict, because we have to look at the organ. What does the organ do? The skin. The skin is about touch. It's about contact. It's how we interface with other people. And when we have a conflicting experience of really desperately wanting contact or desperately wanting separation, we really don't want this contact, the skin will adapt, a biological program. So in that moment when you're like, I shouldn't have had sex with that person, I should not have had that contact, I'm regretting that contact, that was not good contact that I should have had, I am in this conflict, and at that moment, a biological program activates. The cerebral cortex is the control center for the skin. And so there's an impact in the specific region that controls the skin of the genitals. And when I'm in the conflict, so I'm really just like, I shouldn't have done that, I wish I didn't have that, when I'm in this desperately wanting to separate from the contact that I had, there are micro-ulcerations in the skin in the area involved with the contact. And so if it's the genitals, it's the genitals. If it's, on the mouth, if you really didn't want to, kiss a person, or I remember in high school, a big thing was about if someone had, that person gets cold sores, and if you drink their drink, you can have this moment of, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have had that, I shouldn't have drank from their drink because now I'm going to get the bad baddie. And so if we have this experience of, I wish I'm just in this divided moment, micro-ulcerations in the squamous epithelium until I get off the track, until I resolve the conflict, I'm no longer concerned about it, it's off my mind, I've, gotten over it. Something has to shift in order for me to kind of chill out about being, wanting the contact or not wanting the contact. And when I chill out, when I resolve the conflict, the tissue in that area starts to refill and repair. So remember, I said micro-ulcerations. You can think about that like little holes in the skin. And then when I resolve the conflict, the tissue starts to repair. And when the tissue repairs, it's tender because there's swelling, there's fluid, there's redness. And that is when we have this thing called an outbreak. And that is simply the repair phase following the tissue adaptation. And so you have an outbreak, and then it's like, oh gosh, it's there for however long you were in the conflict. It takes about that long for the tissues to go ahead and repair. And now if it keeps coming back at random moments, it's not random, it's specific. There is a track in your environment that's reminding your body of the separation conflict. So let's say the time that you had that sexual contact, there was also alcohol in your system at the time. Now, every time you have alcohol, your body is like, you can kind of feel, I feel like an outbreak's coming on. It's because the alcohol has become a track, or a person can become a track, or a place, or, situation, a smell. You step on the track, your body remembers the time you did not want to have that sexual contact, you go back into the adaptation. And then when you come off the track, the tissue refills again. And so this is how we need to start understanding this thing we called herpes. It's not a virus. Whatever they call a virus, any type of virus. Viruses do not exist as this entity, as this thing that causes disease. That's never been proven. It's absolute pseudoscience. What's actually happening is there's an intentional tissue change taking place at a location of the body, whether it's the cervix or the bronchial mucosa or the skin. There are tissue changes. In this case, it's erosion followed by tissue restoration, which causes the symptoms to arise. And so it's not about a virus, it's not about contagion, it's about experience.